All right, once again, everyone, good evening. Welcome to the Finance Committee meeting. Today's Tuesday, September the 4th, 2018, and it's approximately 5:58. I call this meeting in order. Number 2, review and discussion of the Region 1, or the Region Education Service Center, the School District Commitment Form for Texas Software and Services. Dr. Carmen?
Yes, sir, and actually, I think Mrs. Rendon can share a little bit of information on this software.
Yes, good evening. This is the MOU for the Texas software. We have changed over to Skyward, though it does require us to have at least 6 months of the Texas software so we can close up the year. So this is a prorated contract to continue having services through December. Thereafter, we will continue we will continue it, but it will only be viewing capability so that we can make reference to our data that they store. The grand total for the 6 months is $69,196. Requires to come to the board because it's in excess of $50,000.
I got a quick question, Mr. Rendon.
Yes, sir.
I know we're moving forward with Skyward, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so my question is, when is the, because I know Texas, the software, you know, a lot of the parents really enjoyed it because they could go in there and view the parent portal and so on and so forth. So how are we gonna roll that out to our parents to make sure that they have that access, and what's the timeline for the first 6 weeks? Thank you.
I'm not sure on you're talking like the grade book, correct? I have not seen that version of it, but I can say that it works similar in the same area. I'm going to venture out there where we're going to have to put out there the information on how to access it through informational pieces. The way Texas they used a password. So I'm going to say that's very similar. I'll reach out to the PEAMS coordinator, unless we have some administrators that have gone through this, looked at the grade book component.
Oh, that's fine. It's just, what I'm saying, it's a new software out there, so the parents are not gonna have access like they used to in the prior. But I just wanna make sure that I guess their parents know that we have a new
It's
system.
coming, it has a parent portal as well. I'm not sure, the data's uploaded, I'm not sure if it's live for parents yet. Okay. Okay. So we can have a timeline for when parent portal becomes live. We can have that at the next meeting if you like.
And we'll bring back some information. We'll contact Skyward and have Ms. Morado also, since she's taking care of the student side of it.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Agenda item? Let's move on to agenda item number 3, review and discussion of proposal of 2018 property value study contrast between the San Benito CISD and Lineberger, Gogan, Blair, and Sampson LLP. Dr. Carmen?
Yes, sir, and actually I'm gonna turn this over to Mrs. Rendon as well.
This is for consideration to continue with the 2018 property value study to be conducted by Lineberger, Gogden, Bear, and Sampson. We've been doing this for the past 3 years, and this is netted as additional taxes from the state, additional revenue coming from the state. They do an audit on the tax roll, and they find where it's between the appraised value from what the comptroller has and what our Cameron County has. So it's that period of time that we're trying to recoup additional funding from the state. In your section, it continued, the appeals have resulted various money over the years. Last year's was reduction of approximately additional 160,000. So it has been beneficial in the last 2 or 3 years that we have appealed the state for additional aid.
Cool. Okay, agenda item? Let's move on to agenda item number 4, review and discussion of the contract of bond election services with Cameron County. Mrs. Rendon?
This is a contract that we're proposing to contract with the Cameron County to conduct the bond elections on November the 6th of 2018 elections. This is pretty standard. They anticipate the cost. They give you approximate the cost, the estimate of the cost, set forth what is the early voting, the voting places, who the elections officer is, and so forth. So this is a contract that we are bringing forth so we can enter, so they can conduct the elections for us.
Mr. Rendon, just to be fully transparent in what we changed from typical elections, because we're having a bond election, the most recent meeting we had, we will have an additional early voting site. Can you speak more to that?
Yes, we had, we're adding an additional early voting site, which will be the San Benito High School at the library, and it will be for the first week. So that gives some opportunity of our staff that reside, that they can go in and vote.
So we'll have both the community center and the San Benito High
Yes,
School
sir.
as early voting sites?
Yes, during the first week. The second week, it's gonna be the community or the sites that we have traditionally. During early voting, there is, throughout the county, there is other places, such as in Harlingen. If you happen to be in Harlingen, but you reside in San Benito, you can also vote at a Harlingen location that will have our ballots.
Thank you.
Agenda item. Then move on to agenda item number 5, review and discussion of the replacement of the playground equipment for Fred Booth, Frank Roberts Elementary Schools. Ms. Rendon?
This item is continuing to the replacement of the playground equipment. We're down to our last 2 elementary schools, which is Frank Roberts and Fred Booth. There's 2 of them. We're asking to consider, it's $122,576.92. This is the same company we use for the other playgrounds that we have talked. It is we did include it in our budget. This also, the price is a little higher is because we are going ahead and putting the rubber mulch is included. So this will complete all of the elementary playgrounds.
Agenda
So you're saying these are the last 2 in what we've been doing the last couple of years?
Yes,
For the
sir.
playgrounds?
Yes, sir.
Agenda item. Then move on to agenda item number 6, review and discussion of the 2018-2019 unemployment compensation with the Texas Association of School Boards. Ms. Rendon?
This is our annual renewal for the unemployment compensation. We are with Texas Association of School Boards. We will wish to continue. There was a decrease from last year. The new price is $62,060. On unemployment compensation, we have TASB, and the other one is to go with the state. We are in a reimbursement phase, so it means that unemployment claims go down, our insurance rates also goes down. So we're asking to continue the renewal.
Agenda item? Okay, agenda item. Then move on to agenda item number 7, review and discussion of the option to extend the proposal for the pest control services district-wide 2018-2019. Ms. Rendon?
This is also to extend the proposal for pest control. We had gone out for bids last year. We want to extend it. In speaking with Mr. Garcia, we have not had any issues with the current provider. We do have, like I said, in the RFP, it was a clause that we could continue. Is it the same price? At the same price?
Ma'am, I got a question for you, Ms. Rendon. As far as these little services, I know recently you had picked, the top 3, I guess, from the RFQs or RFPs that were done. That wasn't done in this case, or are you just giving it for the whole district, just for one company, or are you
Yes, sir.
spreading?
This was competitive. Thinking your paperwork, it does have an evaluation
Yes,
or some summary form. It was considered price, history, and this was a competitive overall.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Agenda item. Let's move on to agenda item number 8, review and discussion of the option to extend the proposal for the evaluative services for the after-school program, 21st Century Circle 9 Grant 2018-2019. Jack Garcia?
Superintendent, members of the board. Basically, what's coming up in front of you all, when the original cycle 9 for our new board members came up, We did go out at that time, our purchasing agent, Mr. Adrian Garcia, went out for proposals for evaluator. And the board at that time made the selection of Dr. Prissy Tipton. And this is merely for information to come to you, board members, to let you know that we're going to continue the services for this last year of Cycle 9.
And just to clarify, so it's on record, first year of Edgar, either Mr. Garcia or Ms. Gonzalez, because we bid it out, as long as we extend that same contract, this meets the Edgar requirements, correct? Okay, thank you.
Any questions? We're good? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Agenda item? Agenda item number 9, committee concerns? Anyone?
I did on, and actually Jack just stepped off, but do we have an update on our appeal for the for the 21st Century Grant, Cycle 9?
I think both Dr. Carmen and I can touch upon a little bit. At this point, I know that in discussion with Dr. Carmen, what we were trying to do is get the attention of the commissioner in many different ways. And one way was that Dr. Carmen himself sent a certified letter to the commissioner. And then I've been in communication with the senator's office. However, unfortunately, the senator and the chief of staff have been out of country for a couple of weeks here. And so their policy person at the senator's office is waiting for them to come back, and they were going to review the letter, and then he was going to sign it and send it. But they were going to notify me at that point when they do send the letter. I know that Dr. Carmen also was able to communicate with some, through the lieutenant governor's office as well, to notify the commissioner as well. So, we're trying to get their attention. I just came from a director's meeting last week, and I try to talk to the supervisor of the supervisor, but of course they tend to pass it to another supervisor. So I didn't get much traction there with them. However, I will say, members of the board, just in a positive note, that there is discussion about extending Cycle 9 another year because of funding opportunities, because of the state of Texas receiving, I think it was about $111 million. So that is part of what they're thinking about right now.
So from what I've understood, am I incorrect in saying that if our appeal goes through, we will be able to recoup a couple of, or maybe just $1 to $2 million from what we originally had applied for and under the Cycle 9 grant?
Well, if they're able to, I mean, assuming that they're, open to the idea, because obviously it was a horrible mistake and that was done to us, and then hopefully they will consider funding us. My only thing that I'm being realistic about it is the likelihood of them just targeting and saying, okay, well, we're going to target San Benito CISD, we're going to go ahead and give them funding. I think what they're going to have to do is look at a wide range of other placements of districts or nonprofit organizations, and then they're going to say, you know what, we have, let's say, it's $10 million. We're going to go ahead and fund an additional 10 to make a Cycle 10 Part B like they did in Cycle 8. That's the only way I think they're going to do something like that when they realize that a mistake was done. And I'm hoping they do that because, like, I came to the board and explained, they somehow found $19 million additional dollars for Cycle 10. That was not what was originally stated at the very beginning. So hope they didn't use all the money. Yeah, that's where we're at.
And I'll just tag on to that. I don't think they're going to rush out with their checkbook and just write us a check for the 1.6 million or so that we did not receive. But we did get someone from the Lieutenant Governor's office to place a call to the Commissioner's office, as well as Speaker, I think, of the House made a call on our behalf. So they have our appeal. It's been brought to their attention, I think, by a couple of offices there in Austin. it's unlikely they're gonna undo the process, because as soon as they allow for one district, other districts likely would say, well, maybe we didn't score ours correctly either. So I doubt if they wanna open that box up, but if there is a Part B, I'm hoping that San Benito would be right there in the running for it and be able to resubmit, so.
I mean, between Dr. Carmen and I, we calculate, we're just 15 points off from that 20 points. We would have received it. So, you know, if anything, I want to say this, that the senator's office, I emphasize of a change of policy toward the commissioner on these reviewers. There has to be a different route. So hopefully, they'll talk to them. Thank you.
We adjourn at 6:14. Oh, hold on, sorry.
We have one more.
Oh, yes,
We have one more item
yeah.
that we wanted to bring in under committee concerns.
okay.
It's in regards to our health insurance. We got some numbers. At the last board meeting, we had discussed that we needed to increase our alternative one on the stop loss. Our agent, Ortegon, got some figures to us late last night, yesterday, saying that we needed to increase our current funding from $388.11 to $430.11, which is $42. We do have a 4.6 million in the health fund that could offset the increase, but they want us to, it's in the best interest to increase our contribution for this coming year, so that when we go out for bids next year, we show that we are actually funding it accordingly. So we wanted to bring to the board for this coming board meeting is request consideration to increase the employer health contribution for October 2018 to September of 2019, $42 additional. And this also will be bringing in a budget amendment to offset the cost with bringing in some of the fund balance that we have currently into the health fund.
Mr. Don, two questions. So
Yes.
the reason why we are here is because of a lot of the high claims that occurred this past year.
Yes, we've had a high claim. One is because we have a good health insurance and good claims, we have additional participants. So having additional participants, we have also had additional claims. We have over 2,000 actual contributing members now. Those aren't just employees, these are the dependents and the spouses. So we're more at risk. So we're still keeping it to where it's, the lowest plan would not be a cost to the employee. We're just gonna contribute a $42 additional.
So with the $42 additional, how much does that deplete our $4 million in the fund balance for the health
That
insurance?
is approximately around $700,000.
Oh, so not even $1 million.
No, it's not the million. And that's what the budget amendment would be, to
Okay.
bring it into to general fund, so that general fund doesn't have to absorb another cost.
Okay.
And then again, monitor it. I think it's the wishes is that this coming year, we do go out for bids again.
Right.
And go through the process. This should alleviate some of the losses, and then again, we could have a good experience year, as we have had in the past. So that's what we wanted to bring to on Tuesday for the board meeting, is considering upping that contribution rate. I have, Ms. Ortegon did say that she was going to provide a spreadsheet, so.
Will she be, since this was under committee concerns and was not an actual item,
Right.
Mr. Chairman, can we ask that she present on this item on Tuesday?
Absolutely. Just so we can get a little bit more clarity. If I understood correctly, I think one of the reasons why it went up too, of course, the claims, but more importantly, the good healthcare plan that we have. And, you know, the more people, I think there was like 250 more people that signed up for our health insurance, so that's pretty huge for our, for our district. So, we do the best that we can to provide our staff with the best insurance out there and the best plans. So, this is one of the challenges that we have, is to balance it out. So that's what we have to do. We have to contribute, but like Ms. Rendon said, yes, we do have, $4 million in the bank there as far as the insurance and how we've been fiscally responsible with the insurance plan. So I think at the district, as, you know, we're doing extremely well. Most of our staff members are staying healthy, and that's very important. So, absolutely, Ms. Rendon, go ahead and have her present, and
Yes, sir.
we'll take care of it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. We adjourn at 6:18. Thank you.